Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of Remo's mini product demonstration. In this video, we're going to dive headfirst into the more advanced functions, capabilities, and features available to you as event hosts to create successful and engaging online events for your guests. If you haven't done so already, I'd recommend watching part 1 first. The link is in the description box below, so you can get familiar with the Remo conference product first. Part 1 takes you through the foundations of Remo and how you can use the basic features available in your events. Alright, so without further ado, let's explore what else Remo can do for you. First up is one of the biggest and best things about the platform. We touched on it very briefly in part 1, and in this video we're going to go through it in much more detail. This thing or concept is one of the best ways for you as an event host to craft an experience for your guests. It's the way for you to bring your online event to life. And if you haven't guessed already, the concept I'm talking about here is none other than custom floor plans. Custom what now? You heard correctly, custom floor plans. You're encouraged to take our standard floor plan and redesign it completely to suit your event perfectly. Don't like the seat designs here? Change them. Don't like the position of the sponsor banners? Move them. Don't like the size of the billboards? Resize them. I think you get the idea. With custom floor plans, it's completely up to you and your creativity. All you need to design a custom floor plan is a graphic design tool that lets you export to SVG. Common programs we've used in the past are Adobe Illustrator, Sketch, and Affinity. But there are plenty more out there for you to choose from. It does help if you have a little graphic design background, but it's not necessary. Even without it, you can download one of our standard floor plans here, open it up, and play around with it. The main idea with custom floor plans is that you can decide what the background looks like, how the tables and chairs look, the position and sizes of the billboards and sponsor banners, and even the shape of your green room. Once you design all this, you just need to make sure you organize them in the correct layers and name those layers in the right way. Don't worry, all this information is available in our design guidelines here and video tutorials, which will take you through step by step how you can design your very own custom floor plan. Throughout your designing process, you can make sure you're on the right track by validating your design each step of the way through our custom floor plan validator. Just upload the file here and see whether the element you've been working on is correctly picked up or not. Once you're happy with your final design and it passes the validation completely, you can upload that in our Need Help button. And then our team will take it from there and upload that to your Remo account. Please do upload your custom floor plan at least 7 days before your event so we can make sure it's all set. There are many things you can do with custom floor plans. For example, this is a great way to add some more branding to your event. You could add your company logo, event logo, or even more sponsor logos as static images on your floor plan. Alternatively, you could design it in a way that adds structure for your event. So for example, you could design different zones in your floor plan. One could be the quiet zone, complete with one-seater tables where guests go if they want to be alone. Another area could be the professional meeting room with professional-looking tables where you could place your sponsors or speakers. Another area could be the hangout space for your guests with sofas or lounge chairs where guests could sit if they wanted some time just to mingle casually with other guests. Remember, your design is one of the best ways to put your guests in the correct frame of mind for your event. If you're hosting an upscale executive event, you might want to consider making a more professional-looking event space. On the other hand, if you're hosting a fun happy hour for your team, you can think about creating a more laid-back atmosphere and brighter colors. You could even consider having themed environments like at the beach. Whatever your event, remember to think about its purpose and the type of guests you're inviting, and design an environment that matches that. You could even have a different floor plan for each of your event buildings to create different atmospheres for each of them. For example, a theater-looking room for the main stage where all the presentations happen, and then a more casual floor plan with bigger tables for the networking room. Oh wait, you didn't know that you could run 2 sessions at the same time? You heard me right. You can run 2 or more events at the same time. and let your guests jump easily between them. This is great for multiple occasions. One definitely is the example from before, if you want to give your guests the choice between networking or listening to a presentation. Another example could be if you had multiple presentation streams. One event would be for stream A and the other for stream B. Now you're probably thinking this sounds complicated, so it must be difficult to set up. But the good news for you is it's actually really simple. All you need to do is set up events, get the event URL, and create a sponsor banner. If you've got all three things, you're set to go. So let's walk through this together. Firstly, you need to create and publish your events that you'd like to be running simultaneously. Now remember, there is a limit to how many you can run at the same time, so make sure to check your plan features first, which you can do on our pricing page. Alright, so here you can see I've got two events set up. One is the main stage and the other is the networking lounge. Now I've got to link these two events together using a sponsor banner. So I'm going to grab the event URL for the networking lounge as so. Now I'll go into the event settings for the other event, so in my case, the main stage. And under sponsors, I'm going to add a sponsor. Now you can add whatever banner image you want. Remember, the banner image is the one guests see on the floor plan, so our recommendation is to have one that says where the guest will jump to give them some direction. So in mine, for example, I've got Jump to Networking Lounge here. Now the important part is the call to action button. So you can customize the text displayed on the button here, like Jump Now or Enter the Lounge here. But in the call to action link, you're going to put the event link for the other building. So I'm pasting the URL for the Networking Lounge event I copied earlier. And at the end of the link, I'm going to add $auto-join equals 1. This is the key for simultaneous events on Remo. By adding this to the end of the event URL, when guests jump between the events, they don't need to register or log in again with Remo. They're taken directly from event A to event B. Remember to save your sponsor and the event. And now you just need to make sure you do the same thing in your second event, so that guests have a way to jump back into the first one. So let's see this in action. So this is from the guest's perspective, who is currently in the networking lounge. And then they realize it's time for the presentation they'd like to see, so they want to jump into the main stage. So they click the sponsor banner, click the button, and ta-da! They're teleported directly into the main stage event. How cool is that? And they can jump back to the networking lounge using the sponsor banner we set up in this video together. Ta-da! Did you ever think teleportation could be that easy? Alright, now you might be wondering, will this work for both public and private events? And the answer is yes. In fact, you can even mix it up. You could have the general event that's open to everyone, set to public, and have a sponsor banner that links to a separate VIP room, which is set to private. You just need to make sure your VIP guest emails are put on the guest list for the VIP room event. And therein lies the major difference between public and private events on Remo. Public events are open to everyone. Anyone with the link to your event landing page can register and enter the event. Your landing page will also have social media sharing buttons so guests can actually share the event through Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Private events, on the other hand, are private or exclusive to only the guests you invite beforehand. The key difference here is that with private events, you must add your guests' emails to the guest list. This essentially puts those emails on a safe list, and only emails on the safe list will be allowed to register for the event. So to do this, you can just go into your event settings and go to Invitations and then Guests. Now you can copy and paste 200 emails at a time. So let's say, here is the list of emails I want to add to the guest list. I'm going to select them, copy, and paste them into the text box here. Now between two emails, I'm just going to press Enter to separate all of those emails. There we go. Now press Add to Guest List. And now those emails are successfully added to the guest list and safe list. Now when these guests register on the landing page, they must remember to use the same email address that you've inputted here. If they don't, they won't be able to enter the event space. Well, that's all for Remo Conference Product Demonstration Part 2. Hope you had fun learning more about the possibilities of creating events with Remo. The next step, if you haven't done so already, is to go ahead and sign up for our 14-day free trial so you can start playing around with the platform and testing out everything that I've showed you here today. Happy exploring!